one of my talking points that I wrote down here, and we talked about it earlier with that dude with the douchebagger comment, and it was copy and paste. I feel not that I feel bad, but people do not have to live in a copy and paste world. Where a lot of people, especially in not just America, all over the world, they live in they live a copy and paste life.
Yeah.
Same thing every fucking day.
Yeah.
I don't even like getting up at the same time in the morning.
Right.
Yep. I don't even like to make my coffee the same way every day.
Really?
Well, I mean,
there's only so many ways you can do it, but
well, I mean, I French pressed, I'll K-cup, I'll take it black, take it with half and half,
right.
different times, maybe 1 cup, maybe a cup and a half, maybe a cup in the afternoon, that kind of shit.
Right.
I just want to stay away from routine and copy and paste. And the reason that I wrote that down is because I think it was maybe the week before last, I had 3 days in a row where I realized I was copy and pasting. Everything was the same. And I went, now part of it was, I kind of felt bad, how I was feeling, but that made me feel like a life without purpose.
Right.
Copy and paste world, copy and paste life. And I went, nope. So even now today, when I did the 7 and that speed and quickness workout, after that first rotation, I had the dry heaves and I was laughing at myself. Oh man, I'm freaking smoked. It just takes me longer to warm up. That's all. I mean, I ended up sweating my ass off, which is cool in 50 degrees, today out in my driveway. But I said, dude, I got to start like jogging again, or just doing something like out besides just CST, another thing, adding to it. Because I am aging. I mean, and I'm not vain, but I'm not vain. And I look in the mirror and I see shit and I'm like, all right, something needs to change. Even though I am constantly changing shit up, I need to add something else in here. More biking, maybe some jogging, maybe more interval work or sprints or whatever it is.
Okay. What's the downside to copy and paste living? What's the upside? What's the upside of not changing things up?
Of not changing things up. The upside?
No, what's the opposite of not,
Well, like I said, purpose, right? Purpose, meaning, when you're living in that copy and paste world, you've heard this coming from me many, many times. Routine. Right. Routine is a playground of a dull mind, it's like that complacent adaptation. You're just satisfied.
Right.
You're accepting mediocrity. Right. When you're just and a lot of people don't know. They're like, yeah, my life's pretty good. I do the same freaking thing every day. Fuck that, bro. Right. I cannot do that shit. I mean, on a whim today, just on a whim, I did, I said, well, all right, all my chores are done. And I did like the, vlog prep with the birdhouse thing. I mean, I totally winged that today. And I looked at the clock and I went, nope. Stay focused. You got all this other shit to do. If you got time, dedicate half an hour to this thing. And, because what I did is I just prepped it. So all I'm doing is screwing wood together. Right. But I got done with all my chores, and came up, did fulfillment a second time, went back downstairs, looked around, and I said, Charlotte, let's go for a ride. Mm-hmm. Pulled her out, dusted her off, and just hauled ass for a few miles up and down the road. But yeah, I think it's there's a couple different terms. There's one, Rogan talked about it recently, that term where people live in that copy and paste world. There's another one I remember in one sports psychology book. It's called learned helplessness.
Yeah.
Where you're content, you're satisfied. Right. You're not making any progress, but you're not going backwards.
Right.
You're flatlined.
Right.
Man, I remember, like, I think it was the week before, I just had like 2 or 3 days in a row where I realized, I was reflecting and I was like, dude, I feel like I'm just copy and pasting these past couple of days. And it was just a bummer. And I said, nope. All right, now I realize it. Let's just change it. It's
Yeah.
as easy as that. That's
Right.
all you got to do. Just change it.
So the downside
Yep.
is
No growth.
there's no growth.
There's no growth. No, you're content, and a lot of people are, right. They're content. They're
Well,
content.
because there's some measure of security for it. It obviously frees up
Yeah,
your mind
security.
space. You don't have to be
Yep.
thinking about
Yeah, it's safe.
other
It's
things.
safe.
Yeah, learning something or
Yep.
striving. But it's like you're right. There's absolutely no growth because there's no
Yep.
diversity like with muscle. If you're just doing a bench press with the same weight,
Complacent adaptation.
yeah, it's just not going to do. There's nothing to shock the system. There's nothing to make it
Right.
interesting. And so I think there is not just the atrophy of your body physically if you do that, but also
Mhm.
especially your mind, right?
Yep.
The
Mind and
atrophy,
spirit, bro.
yeah,
It's spirit.
yeah, yeah, and we don't, we don't talk a lot about that, but I know, we say, are you a spiritual person? You don't have to be a church going person to be a spiritual person, and you don't have to be
Mhm.
some witch or warlock or whatever the hell
Right.
to be a spiritual person. And no, it's just the awareness that there is something deeper than just this part of your head that does math and this part of your body that lifts and moves things. You know what I mean? That there's something there that is the driving force. I used to tell my ex and my kids for years. I said, there's a lot of things I could be handicapped with, a lot of things that I could lose. If I ever lose the vision of my heart, I'm done.
Mm.
If that ever goes, I'm done. Even the Bible says it. It says, a spirit can bear you up when you're sick or whatever, but a wounded spirit, who can bear? Because your spirit
Yeah.
is what carries you. So if
Mhm.
that's wounded, you know what I mean? If the spirit is wounded, then what's going to sustain you? Because your spirit will sustain a broken heart, a broken mind, a broken body, right? Your spirit can still sustain. You could be in a wheelchair. You've seen them, guys with no arms and no legs, and they're
Yeah.
motivational speakers. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So it's got nothing to do with that. It has, and even the mind is not the absolute key. Ultimately, it comes down to your spirit, the strength of your spirit. Do they have? We use that term right all the time. Oh, they got a
Yep.
strong spirit. No, there's still spirit left in them. Or we say it about somebody who's battling a disease or whatever, or their spouse of 70 years passes away, they give up.
Mhm.
You see, you can tell that it's amazing that you can
Yeah.
literally tell through the physical that the spirit is just
Yep. Yeah.
gone.
Yeah. Whew, man.
So you're fighting for
Yeah.
your spirit.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. And it only took me a couple of days. Now, see, even how shitty I felt in the past year and a half.
Yeah.
There's been like, I mean, there's months with no good days. Back 6, 8, 10 months ago, months with no good days. Better now, right? Better.
All right.
But even then, I couldn't copy and paste. I was writing shit down to do, you know, just get these things done. Just try to get here. Just try to do these things. Uh yeah, because damn man, one of the things that, and I hate to be bleak about this, one of the things that got me thinking about that too, to copy and paste, and I don't want to live in that world, and I need to feed that spirit, is the mat thing I was telling you about the
Yeah.
other day. And so, and I was going to bring that up to squad without, it's all rhetorical. I'm not going to ask for any feedback on it. I just want people to know this and how I feel about it. Let me see. Do you ever repeat exercise for multiple weeks and then change it up, or is it change? No, David, I try not to, only because, and here's why. I don't. Let me see. Do you ever repeat exercises for multiple weeks? Absolutely not. I don't repeat them at all. I will come back to certain exercises every couple months. Uh, I want to continue. I mean, there's some things like focus bag, heavy bag, stuff like that. I don't count that. That's conditioning, right? But certain exercises, like when it comes to strength or power, I need to change it up for a couple reasons. The biggest one is uh, I don't want to get stuck in a rut. You know, I want my body to learn. I want my brain to tell my body what is capable of being able to do. And I want to recognize voids. Um, and I and I want to encourage others. I mean, I'm the idea guy when it comes to working out, and I want to give other people ideas. So that it motivates me to come up with different stuff, and it's a give and take here. And that's one of the things I was going to talk about earlier during speed and quickness is that I did not feel like working out today, but I know that there's certain people on my feed that rely on me putting out different workouts. They're relying on that shit, man.
Yep.
They're relying on it. So I owe it to them. And they have no idea how grateful I am to them
For that, yeah.
for relying on me.
Yep.
So that's the other reason why I changed it up. For those people who are relying on me to put out, to give them ideas.
For more basic skills, field craft, and basic dude stuff, you got to join my Pat Mac Keep the Blaze Live Coaching Squad on Patreon. We do a live stream every week and a Tier 1 Zoom every 2 weeks. The best part about the squad is we have a very eclectic group with a very wide skill set range. We run a private Facebook page that I administrate, so there's no peripheral douche baggery. So I hope to see you there. Link is in the description. Rock and roll, baby.